Now, when Apple initially announced it was paying $3 billion to buy Beats, the headphone maker and streaming music service, with only 250,000 subscribers, many people were left scratching their heads. But now analysts and music experts are singing a different tune, saying the deal sounds like music to their ears after all. Karina Huber explains.
The iPhone, the iPad, iTunes. These innovations were game changers that brought in massive revenues for Apple. But over the past few years, this usually forward-thinking company has fallen behind the competition.
Apple's tried to do a number of things when it comes to streaming and social, and frankly, it has not been particularly successful in those endeavors.
Apple is trying to change that by buying Beats, which is its biggest purchase ever. Along with a streaming service, Apple also gets a headphone business.
Beats Electronics folds very nicely, we think, into the accessories segment. And then if you look at Beats Music, which is another notable part of this transaction, we think that fits very nicely within iTunes software and services. So we think from that perspective, it actually makes total sense.
The deal also stipulates that two of the music world's most powerful players, Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine, the founders of Beats Electronics and Beats Music, will join the Apple team.
Perceptually, they're important because Apple's been a little bit less sexy lately. And maybe it makes it a little bit more sexy.
So Apple gets some sex appeal through the affiliation, but it also gets contacts with industry heavyweights, which could help the company seal distribution deals with record labels.
Beats currently has 250,000 subscribers, which is a drop in a bucket compared to Spotify's 10 million paying users. But some analysts think with Apple's clout, it could raise that number to 20 million over the next 12 to 18 months.
Errol Colisean at NYU's Clive Davis Institute of Music is optimistic about the Apple Beats connection.
Remember, it's knocking off a competitor. Now it really does start to boil down to just a few people in that space because Beats has been consumed by iTunes. That's a big piece of this that has to be thought about. If it suddenly comes down to just Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, or whatever the iteration is going to be, you're starting to narrow the focus.
With streaming music growing at a fast clip while music downloads lag, Apple apparently believes it's got to catch up in streaming if it wants to stay relevant, no matter the cost. Industry insiders seem to agree. Karina Huber, CCTV, New York.